everyone, and welcome back to another video from the Francophile. It's Jalen and Maria, and we hope you all are doing well. In today's video, we're going to be vlogging a Saturday in our lives while focusing on the question of if our lives are more eco-friendly in France than they were back in the United States.
We are not perfect environmentalists, and limiting factors like our student budget keep us from being 100% environmentally friendly, but we do strive to be as green as we possibly can.
And before we get started with the video, please make sure to follow us on all of our social media. We do have Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and our blog. And let's get started with the day. We finished getting ready and we made it out of the house, and as you saw, Maria took a shower, we took out the recycling, and that's already a couple of eco-friendly things that are different for us here in France than they were in the United States.
Here in France we have a detached shower head that's handheld that actually can't be affixed to the wall, whereas in the US we only ever had shower heads that were affixed to the wall, which meant that the water was constantly flowing through the entire duration of the shower, whereas here the water is only flowing when we're rinsing off, which obviously saves a lot of water. And even though it was something to get used to, since we've lived here for so long, it's like second nature now.
So as far as recycling goes, where we grew up in the United States, it was pretty difficult to recycle. It was expensive and sometimes it wasn't even offered at all. But here in France, we're able to recycle, and it's really become like a reflex for us. The city takes care of all things trash and recycling, and that makes it so that we can just do our part by sorting it, and we don't even have to worry about paying any extra bills for it. Alright, so right now we are actually on our way to a market. We like walking through markets and seeing what all the vendors are selling, and you know, it's really a staple of French life, so let's go check one out. Close to the market, and we decided to take a pit stop here in the gardens of the cathedral. One of the things that we really like about living in Reims is that there are markets every single day of the week. And while markets are also popular in our corner of the United States, it's not as ingrained in the culture to go, and they didn't happen as often, so we never really went. In any case, these products that you find at markets are often locally sourced, which means that they have to travel a smaller distance between the point of production and the final consumer. And considering things like greenhouse gas emissions that come specifically from the transport sector, markets can make for a relatively eco-friendly shopping option. And as many of you know, I study sustainable logistics and supply chain here in France, so this type of thing is right up my alley.
And speaking of greenhouse gas emissions, we also wanted to mention, if you didn't notice already, that we are walking to the market. And if we didn't walk to the market, we probably would have taken the bus, as those are our two main forms of transport here in Reims. And in France, we don't have a car at all, so we really rely on our own 2 feet and public transport of all kinds wherever we are. The market's about a 25-minute walk away from our home, and if we were still living in the United States, we definitely would have driven that sort of distance. Maybe if we had grown up somewhere with a better public transport system, we would have been more used to it, but growing up in the American suburbs made it so that driving was a necessity. We definitely prefer how we live now, and we're really happy that it's much more eco-friendly.
getting Italian vibes. Aw, makes me want to go to Italy.
Let's go up to it and see if they're close.
Oh, yeah. Vacanze. It's so Italian. Oh, j'adore. Franchement, c'est trop bien. Look at the inside.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Wow.
You gotta go here.
Yeah, you'll see us here in an Instagram story or in some sort of vlog or something pretty soon. So our trip to the market was really nice, and we even picked up some fresh strawberries that we're gonna have with lunch later today. And yeah, we don't actually do all of our grocery shopping at the market, so that's still something that we have to do later on. But right now we're gonna head back to the house so we can relax a little bit, do some chores, and then eat lunch.
Lunch was delicious. As you saw, we added the strawberries that we got from the market to a fruit salad with some grapes and a peach that we had left over from this week. And we really like to make sure that we eat everything that we buy, just so we can be budget friendly and so that we can cut down on food waste, which is also eco-friendly.
So as far as our relaxing time, you may have noticed that we cracked open the shades and our balcony door, as well as turned on our fan. These are all ways that we stay comfortable in an eco-friendlier way. We use natural light from the outside so that we can avoid turning on lights in our house, and we use the small breeze from our fan and the natural breeze from outside to stay cool during the summer. Growing up in the United States, we always had air conditioning available to us, but that is no longer the case now that we live in France. Anyways, now that we're done relaxing and eating lunch, we actually have a couple of chores to do. We have to get laundry done, and then we have to organize some clothes for donation. Alright, so the laundry just finished up, and one of the big differences that we've noticed about doing laundry in France versus doing it in the US is that here in France we hang up the laundry to dry, whereas in the US we would have just put the whole load into a dryer. So it's a little more eco-friendly here because dryers use a lot of energy, and actually they put more wear and tear on your clothes, which makes it so that you have to buy replacements more often. So the next thing that we are doing today is going through some clothes, which we try to do once a year or maybe once every 2 years. Donating clothes is actually a great way to keep them in use and out of the landfill. And it's best when you can donate things that are still in good condition so that other people can wear them.
However, we really tend to wear our clothes out until they can't be worn anymore, and we even repair them at home. So we're glad that even if they can't be worn by anyone else, that they'll at least be recycled into other textiles and stay out of the landfill, like you said. Another key factor to our environmental friendliness is not going out and replacing all these clothes immediately with things that we don't need. Going through our clothes like this periodically and meaningfully considering what we actually need and what we can donate really helps us be more mindful of what we purchase.
Alright, so after going through all of our clothes, we ended up with one big bag and one small bag. We're going to put those to the side for now and take them to the donation site later. But first, we're going to the grocery store to get our groceries for the week. Alright, so we are on the way to the grocery store now, and as you can see, we have lots and lots of tote bags. One of the big differences between doing grocery shopping here in France and how we used to do it in the United States is that, you know, we bring our own bags and they're made out of canvas, which is a lot better for being able to reuse them, for example. I remember in the United States, like, I would see people ask for like double plastic or something like that, and that's just really not done here. And another thing that deters people from, you know, asking for bags at the store is that you have to pay for them. So that's one way that we stay eco-friendly even when we go to the grocery store. All right, people, we are on the way to go donate those clothes that we set aside earlier. This bag is super heavy, so that's why I'm carrying it like that. And yeah, so let's go do that. And then that'll be our last task of the day.
So we just took about a 15-minute walk to donate our clothes, and now that that is finished, we are done with everything that we had planned for today, except we are going to go out to dinner.
And to answer our question from the beginning of the video about whether our life is more eco-friendly here in France, I think after doing all the tasks and stuff we did today, I think we can say that our daily life in France is a little more eco-friendly than our daily life was in the United States. So yeah, that is the video. We hope that you enjoyed hanging out with us on this Saturday, talking about eco-friendliness. And before we go, please make sure to follow us on all of our social media. We do have Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and our blog. And we will see you all in 2 weeks. Bye.